Well, hello there, my bunnies. It's Tiki's Trinkets here, and today I have for y'all another Little Nightmares 1/2 inspired ring tutorial. If you remember last time, I'm gonna drop it. I did 6 from Little Nightmares 1 and 2, and today I'm gonna make Mono from Little Nightmares 2. I don't believe he was in the mobile game, if I'm remembering that right. So I think he was just in Little Nightmares 2, but I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments. Today we're going to make this, and this may be a 2-part tutorial, I don't know, but we shall see. But let's go ahead and get into this. I figured, since this is going to be a shorter video, I would talk to y'all while I do this one. Just going to get the sleeves rolled up, all nice and good. We got tan colored Sculpey clay right here, and that's what we're going to start with, and then black. That's all we need besides some, what do you call it? What is it called? Oh my gosh. Oh, it's called chalk pastels. You either need chalk pastels to dirty it up or mica powder to dirty it up. Mica powder will make it glittery, but I'm still going to use mica powder because I'm lazy and I don't want to get my chalk pastels out. Well, I might. I don't know. We'll see. I don't feel like messing with it much. This is already in a square shape, and if you'll remember, Mono's head, or should I say, head is covered in a bag. So I'm just going to take this block of brown tan clay here, and just take a good chunk and get it to about the thickness I want, because I want it to a similar thickness as this. And then I'm just going to cut that right about where I want it. Super easy. Then I'm going to take my X-Acto blade and my dotting tool. And this is going to be Mono's head. Well, should I say head covering? I hope y'all can hear me alright. I'm working on getting a new microphone set up too for my phone, so hopefully I'll have a better quality soon. I found out there was just issues with the stuff that I was using, and just the connections having issues. So right now this is just the microphone on my phone. I might lay over some music with this too, but I'm not sure. Right now I'm just smoothing it out, by the way. Trying to get as many blemishes out as possible, which is funny because it's literally a brown paper bag. It's not like it's got to be perfect. But I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. Alright, that looks about right. This reminds me of when I used to make tiny box Tim necklaces. When I first started Etsy, Markiplier was playing Amnesia a lot, and I was watching him play Amnesia a lot. And him talking about Tiny Box Tim, I just thought was the cutest thing. And I love the fan art for Tiny Box Tim, and because of that, that looks good to me. Because of that, I decided to make a Tiny Box Tim necklace. Alright, here we go. Now we just need to dot 2 eyes, so I'm just going to try to space them out evenly. And that's not even in the slightest. I hate when this happens. When this happens, oh my god. I just kind of have to take it, fill in the holes, and try it again. But yeah, and this kind of reminds me of that. Also, are you all excited about playing Little Nightmares 2, the game? I've watched people play the demo, and I also saw the early release trailer for the, what was it, that part? Oh, the schoolhouse, which looks amazing. I've also watched people play the Hunter demo, and what's the other one? The hospital demo. I'm really excited for this game. I'm really excited for 2021 in general, because the horror games this year are going to be lit. There's going to be so many, and I'm here for it. Horror is my favorite genre of video games. If I haven't mentioned it before, I'm pretty sure I have in one previous video. And I grew up on Resident Evil and Silent Hill, games like that, so that's why I lean towards those genres. Also because my mom's favorite genre of movie is horror, so that's always been my favorite thing. Alright, now that I got this looking nice and normal again, I'm going to try this time. I'm going to take it and line it up with these little lines on my desk. I don't know if you can see it. You can barely see them. But I'm going to try to line it up to where it's somewhere even, about like that, and space the eyes out based on the measurements of the desk so it's more even. One there, and then one there. Okay. Now that's a whole lot better. Still a little uneven, so I'm just going to play around with it, trying to get it a little bit straighter looking. Roll it out. And I also love watching Super Horror Bros, if you've seen him on YouTube. I like watching him like talk about the games, talk about the lore behind them, and play the playthroughs and stuff. He's really fun to watch. I don't like that this side's a little bit longer, so instead of redoing the eyes again, I'm just going to make the bag side shorter to match this side. Okay, there we go. That's a whole lot better. Alright, and that's pretty good, I'd say. Gonna make that a little more flat though. I don't like that. I don't like when you do holes in clay and it bumps up around it. Kind of have to smooth it back out. Okay, there we go. Now that's a pretty pleasing look to the bag. That shouldn't have taken that long. Now I'm just gonna make this little rigidity at the bottom of the bag. Cut out a couple of triangles. Make it look like an actual bag. See, we got a little triangle action going. Then I'm just gonna take that. There we go. And then do it a couple more times, just making it look authentic, to say the least. Then I'm also gonna take this part of my X-Acto blade, which is actually kind of textured, and just kind of rough up the edges, especially down here near the bottom. Really gonna texture that up real nice. Texture the sides, the back. Then I'm just going to kind of cut into it, giving it a little more texture, just like that. Same thing on the sides. Because this is such a simple piece that you need a lot of little things to like really sell it, to show that this is this particular character. Then I'm just gonna rough it up there. Now I'm just going back and pulling my blade the opposite direction so it's really rough. There we go. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It is a bag. Bags are not perfect. Smooth that out a little more. Because I don't mind it not being perfect because it is a bag, but I don't want the imperfections to be imperfections that I know are not intentional. I'm going to texture that a little. Alright, now before I do the eyes, I'm going to take the ring base I'm going to use and I'm going to stick it on the back. Should have done this before I did the eyes. Make sure I got it lined up as straightly as possible. Drop the ring base, do it again. Try to find the little spot I was just at. About like right there. And then I'm going to take it and very gently press onto my hand. I've never shown this in my videos before, but this is how I make sure the rings will stay on the bases. Is I just take it and indent it. And as you can see, sometimes it comes out a little more uneven. But then I just take it, flatten it out again, try to get it as evenly as possible, just so there's somewhat of a crater in there. Then I'm going to turn this back around, smooth it back out where I messed it up, rough it up again because that just destroyed all of those marks. That kind of defeated the purpose of what I just did. Lord. Shouldn't have done it in that order, but live and learn, live and learn. I usually end up doing that with rings. I kind of mess up and do it in the wrong order. But yeah, I also mentioned that I don't really play horror games that much anymore. But I actually want to get back into actually playing the video games that I make the sculptures from, not just watching them. The last time I played a game was the Showdown Bandit when that came out. When the first chapter or so came out. And it was really fun. I do want to do more. It's just, Lord, I'm always busy doing this stuff. Between YouTube and Etsy and life, just being life. it's kind of hard. It's daunting. But I do need to make more time to just have fun and enjoy it. Alright, that looks good. I'm going to go around here, make sure this is smooth, really nice. That's looking pretty good. Alright, now I'm just going to take the tan and make sure we got it all packed back up. Knock everything over again. That doesn't have to be perfect for now. And now I'm going to take the black. Then just a little bit of black. And normally I wash my hands in between clay colors. But since tan's not a very bleeding color, I'm just going to do it like this. Cut the ball in half. That's probably a little bigger than I need. So I'm going to do it in half again. There we go. And then I'm just going to take these balls, put them in the eye sockets, and then poke them so that it gives the eye holes a little more depth. I could just paint it on, but I'm not really much of a painter. I paint sometimes. If you watch, I did a Snoopy's painting time-lapse video. I'm messing that all up. That's one of the problems with clay. It likes to stick together, so if you start moving it, you really fudge it up if you mess it up. But yeah, and I did that video. I'm not like the best painter in the world, obviously, but that painting was actually really fun. It makes me want to do more paintings. I hadn't done like a serious painting in a long time, and I'm decent at painting. It's just this, when it's clay, it's clay. I don't feel like I need to paint as much. I do paint sometimes on clay. It's just I'm trying to make clay be clay, not a canvas for my paint. Just trying to make sure this looks nice and pretty. Alright, that looks pretty good. Yes, it did bleed over a little, but that's okay. Now I'm just going to take it, flatten that back out a little. Make sure that looks pretty good. Actually, I don't mind that it bled a little, because smudge it out a little. It just makes it look a little more rough. I don't think Mono's paper bag on his head is supposed to be perfect. Then I'm just going to rough it up again because I keep messing it up. I want it to a certain roughness. See, this is why I don't talk very often and do videos, because I get so hyper focused I forget to talk for the video. Alright, that looks pretty good. I am not happy with this smudge, so I'm actually just going to take this and I'm going to slice it off. Sometimes I think I'm happy with it, then I decide I'm not, so then I take it and slice it off. And scrap clay will not be thrown away. It will be put into my scrap clay pile, which I use to hold the rings too. You can see the ring indentation whenever I'm gluing and glazing them. And also I take it and make charms out of it too, for like mystery bags and stuff like that. So yeah, we like to have fun with that. Alright, that's looking pretty spooky, if I do say so myself. Probably a little spookier than necessary, but you know, when live and let learn. And now that that's pretty good, I'm going to grab my mica powder. Or should I use chalk pastels? Let me see. Okay, here's my chalk pastels. I don't really have a brown color, but I do have a black color, so I guess I'm going to use the black. Why does this just, no. Okay, there we go. Oh, I'm going to put this back in the pack before I put chalk pastels all over everything in my life. Normally, I wouldn't just scrape this like this, but since I don't feel like getting out my art easel, or, not my easel, my paint palette or a plate, I'm just going to take my X-Acto blade and just jimmy a little off. I'm sorry if this sounds very grating. I don't like it either. Okay, that's pretty good. Then I'm going to take one of my brushes that I specifically only use for powders, if I can find it up here. I think it's this one. Yeah, is it? Or is it a different one? Okay, yeah, this is the one. I use one for paint fine details, which is right here, but the tip's a little stiffer and nicer. This one's more frayed, so this is the one I use for powders. So now I'm just going to take a little dab, and we're going to rough them up. Doesn't have to be perfect, because again, it's a bag. I do want more of this near the bottom. Put a little on the eye socket too. Make it a little dirtier. Cover up that spot that didn't get quite covered with the clay. Now look at that. Doesn't that look spooky? Now I'm just going to take it, go around the sides, dirty that up a little. Yeah, there we go. Texture that up a little more. This is all a game of playing texture right now. I'm also going to dirty up the back just like I textured the back, because even though you don't see the back of a ring when you're wearing it, it's still important for me that the stuff still be pretty accurate front and back. That's just me being a perfectionist, I guess. And yes, I am dirtying the inside the hole. It's not necessary, but again, part of being a perfectionist, I guess. Dirty in the bottom. Again, you won't see it much when you're wearing it, but oh well. Live with it, deal with it. I really want the front to be the most highlighted though. And yes, my fingers are going to be very dirty from this, and then we're just going to boop, 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 boop. That's one way to do it. If it ain't got to be pretty, just kind of take it and just dab it through it. I should not have done that. I'm going to have to clean that, just like I'm going to have to clean my workstation afterwards. The paintbrush, I just take it and kind of do the Bob Ross thing and just kind of jimmy it against my desk. He used to do that with his paint easels. Okay, now I'm going to put the paintbrush up, which I'll rinse off later. The dotting tool up, which you can wash those off after using them or wipe them off. That up. This I'm going to put up, but at first I'm going to take this paper towel I got, and I'm going to wipe this out a little. Otherwise, it'll bleed onto the other ones. Better. Okay, close that back. And then I'm just going to go and do like I usually do and take pictures for the next step. And I'm just going to bake it up and glaze it and show you the pictures. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll either put another video in this, or it might just be a standalone video. We'll see what I have the time for. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye-bye, my bunnies. Or in part 2 if I make a part 2. Either way, bye-bye. Alright, for this last little bit, I'm just going to do a narration because it's taking too long. I'm going to bake it for 350 degrees for 12 minutes in a gas oven. Then, once it's out of the oven and cooled off, I'm going to glue it to the ring base using E6000 and then glaze it with 2 coats of polyacrylic glaze, and then you're done. I decided not to make this a 2-part tutorial because I just wanted to get the listing out, so I hope you still enjoy this as it is, and I will see you guys in next week's video, which will be a Finding Nemo theme one that was by request. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye, my bunnies.